Thanks. I'm happy to be back here. Last year, I've been here and probably overwhelmed a few people with so many details. I hope I make it a little bit better today. My name is Henry. I work I'm a partner of Apfelwerk in Germany, and we're MSP and consultancy. So Zentral is the product I'm talking of. It's open source. It's an open hub for monitoring. And yeah, that's my Twitter handle, and I'm on Slack. There's some trusted tools that I don't cover in that detail during this talk, as they were covered last year by a couple of my fellow speakers, Alistair and Alistair. And they seem to have been working still in macOS High Sierra, so they seem to survive somehow the Ragnarok. So this is OS Query, open source by Facebook, and it can do some crazy good stuff, find some kernel extensions, and the other one would be Santa. Also, this is open source software from Google, and they can do amazing things. But as said, I don't cover them in every detail. OS Query, all the details can be read up over there. Same for Santa. And what they do is they help you to receive events on certain criteria from your endpoints. And you can use them to process them, and with some filtering, you can get some very, very deep insights to really collect this information. They are ready to be analyzed, and you can make some decisions on it and trigger some actions or yeah, whatever. There's a common pattern that you can apply, which is you observe, you collect some information, and then you put that into some orientation. You bring it into context with the known information you already have about a threat or about the inventory. And then you can make some decisions. You can decide what course of actions you want to take, or if you want to ignore the events. And then last, you can act in a chosen course of action, and this is known as the OODA loop. I think it has a military background, but it applies to our scenario here, that we have events that we want to observe, that we want to put into context and decide if we need to act on them. And event stream processing, Sam will be talking about this afterwards as well, as I heard, is the key to this. And I just use this beehive analogy a little bit for outlining what we do, because we have a lot of technologies that we cover in our tool. And I'll see that you want to bring them closer together, decompartmentalize them. And in a world of milk and honey, you want to know about the events, you want to take actions with notifications, and you want to bridge inventory with your software management and with some configuration management that you may have. So inventory could be Monkey, inventory could be Jamf. Software management, of course, is Monkey. And configuration management, it depends on. That could be MDM. For others, it's Chef or Puppet. But yeah, all those tools we know of, and we are trying to deal with many of them and bridge them as a little closer together in our project that is named Zentral. Zentral is open source software, so we frequently update it. It's available on GitHub on that page. And I try to explain a little bit more what it is. It's written in Python. We run it on a Django web server. And we have built a stack of best breed of open source tools that we use to make a workable solution out of it. This is called Zentral, that's the logo, and here we go. We are building on the Elk stack or the Elastic stack. This is a foundation that we have. This is a database, a very powerful database, visualization tool, and some log ingesting processing tool called Logstack. Elasticsearch is the database, and Kibana is the visualization tool. Then we also work with OS Query, as mentioned from Facebook, the open source tool. We provide configuration for OS Query, and we do so for Santa as well. And we interface with Jamf Pro, and we work with Monkey a lot. So all of this comes together a bit closer in Zentral. For the inventory part, we deal with APIs very much. And of course, as said, Jamf Pro, Monkey, Watchman, PuppetDB is coming, where we have some people in Finland are working on that. So PuppetDB will be soon available as well to connect to Zentral or vice versa. And we also get inventory from OS Query. So hopping over to the events and the config as a TLS server for OS Query. There's others as well. And also TLS server for Santa. They are quite similar in how they connect to a TLS server. We provide configuration for both tools. And we receive the events, and we store them into the database. And we can filter them and process them, and so forth and so forth. But we do so as well for Monkey. And this was a private module last year. I showed it a little bit last year on stage here. Since then, we've released that code, which is, had our code name Monolith. And so this is already available since a couple of weeks in our code base. We also do log shipping via Logstash with FileBeat. We are experimenting with it. We have not rolled it out in a super large fleet, but for a customer, we attach to Audit. It's just a little trick, but so we will receive direct information from Audit via FileBeat shipped from macOS towards us. And this is interesting to filter on and have that in our audit trail as well. We do so that we connect to server-side systems. Jamf server has some log files locally. We can ship them as well. So in that case, you can triage some problem cases if you're a Jamf user that may happen in your, on your Jamf server, if you're not on Jamf Cloud, if you host your own Jamf. And you can also have the events on the endpoints on the Mac systems. And we also, with FileBeat, can ship any log file, so that becomes available. On the infrastructure events, of course, we generate our own events. When you log into Zentral, if you log out, certain things that we do. So these are our internal events, but we also have external events, and we can receive them from Nagios. And I learned that a few people are experimenting on other stuff that works similar to Nagios. Let's see what comes. With all those events, we have to store them somewhere, and we have our backend, which obviously is Elasticsearch. However, we also support Kinesis streams. It's an AWS service, so everything that we would write into Elasticsearch, we can transfer over to AWS. And Kinesis is some sort of super-powered streaming and analyzation tool on events that we just shovel over the information on the events that we get. And we can do so for syslog as well, which means every CM solution that supposed to receive events from the Mac but can't do so anymore, QRadar from IBM and others, suddenly with us as in the middle, we can ship that information to them again. So Audit through FileBeat, through Logstash, appearing in Zentral, going out to syslog, to IBM QRadar, it's possible. So, and of course, QRadar has their own and other CM solutions as well. They may have their own formatting. It's more a matter of taking care to write it out in that formatting, so that could be even enhanced in the future. With all those events that we receive, we want to bring some notifications, and we can do so on Slack. We create tickets, send out emails, open Trello cards, interface with the Jamf API, and so forth. So what we do is we use our terms of probes to filter the incoming events, and we have certain probe types. These are filter only, monkey installs. It's just, we reference some names, and then we can filter on the incoming monkey events. So these, the probe types are more wrappers around the technologies that are bringing you much quicker to the result that you're looking afterwards. We have some filtering on the metadata, of course on the inventory, and on the payload itself. So it's good to look at this, and we shortly do that. We look at some monkey 3 events. We create an events probe, and we give it a name. We have a meta tag for monkey, so that gives us all monkey events. We click that, we save it, and monkey is already shipping events to us, but we add a payload filter as well, and there we look for a key value. We look for a name, Firefox, and then we'll find a single event. Or it could be more, but in this demo, it's just a single event. However, if we strip off the payload filter again, then we see much more of the incoming monkey data. So a probe in a non-active mode is just our search filter for what we have stored in Elasticsearch. Of course, if we activate a probe later on, then an incoming event can trigger, it got filtered, and then it can trigger a notification. But you don't want to get a notification on all the event types or on all the events, just certain are important. We have a very long list. You can't read this, but this will be provided in a gist of all the events, the event types that we internally have as a shortcut. And to make it much easier to get started with and also to exchange stuff, we have probe feeds. So probe feeds are practically just JSON blobs that we can import, and they are good samples to start with. So there you can just click on something, the blue ones are links, and then you can just import the probe. And as we also use the probes as the configuration for OS Query and for Santa, let's have a look into this. There's certain bundle configuration and events filters. Bundle, sorry, I've made probably a typo there, but it's OS Query and Santa. And as shown, we configure a dynamic information for the endpoints, and we provide them via TLS to OS Query and Santa. Let's have a look at this. Again, I will use up. Come on, what's going on? Starting. Yeah. Again, I use a feed, but I import a new feed. Come on, catching up. And this is a OS Query pack. We directly get this from the Facebook. We can update that, so we see that the number has increased. We scroll down to Key Ranger, and then we can import the probe. And from there on, the probe knows that it belongs to this feed. And if the feed, if Facebook, if that is updated, we can diff that, and we can show you that in a nice representation. And for this probe, you can add on more OS Query features or bundle more of those queries, and you can put an inventory filter because this is only for this business unit and for macOS. Doesn't make sense to look at this after on Windows computers or Linux. This has to be activated so that the config becomes live. And while it's live, I can always go and change some criteria, and next time a client will connect with OS Query, this will be reflected. So I can change the interval here. So, and again, if this probe triggers, it finds some malware artifact, we can trigger actions and do stuff. We also deal, as said, with monkey configuration somehow, which is the catalogs and the manifests, and short info on how we do this. You may have seen that this here, the monolith, was not there before. We have to activate this in a special configuration, but this is documented, so not everybody wants to work with this, but if there's interest, so it's easy to start with. We have a catalog the whole monkey repo lives on S3, and we have a webhook where we sync that with, and we import all the information to the packages. We can search them by version. We can update the catalog, so we can change something from testing to production, and we create a manifest. A manifest is something that a device or a Mac has to be enrolled with. And for this, there will be the monkey enrollment package automatically embedded, but we can embed OS query and also Santa as an enrollment package as well. In this case, what will happen is that I have one package, and that will install OS query, it will install Santa, it will install the monkey reporting, the event reporting, all in one go. And I can use some extra Santa features here to whitelist and blacklist something. This is the lockdown mode, it's just the YOLO mode. And then I can go and just include even monkey if I want, and just download that directly. This is the release version. Download that directly, or I can just have a small package. And this package can then be rolled out, and it will be taking care, or monkey will take care to install all those technologies to ship events over to Zentral. On the client, of course, all those technologies run in parallel, and they generate events, and it's some interesting to see what that looks. This is monkey, this is Santa, regular 10 minutes interval. This is OS query, shipping much more events. And this is FileBeat, which ships us the Audit D information. So it's a lot of events coming in and out, and we'll getting sometimes some larger hits. You see here that these bumps are the days during the week. This is a 4-day week, 4-day week, 5-day week. Now this just like the production data over, I think this was 90 days. So we aggregate the system events, and we build a rich audit trail. And why do you want to do this? Especially Santa gives some nice options to run in the current OS, probably not in the future OS, because things like that happen. People going to strange websites, and they read up that this website detected there's 2 malware and 1 phishing spyware that needs to be removed, and they click on a button, and then they will download something, and so you want to, you don't want to deal with this, and therefore, okay, yeah. So we just learned in 10.13, this may have some implications that the kernel extension isn't working right now, but Google Santa, of course, in a short test works, and in 10.12, 10.11, it works well. Let's have a look how this works with enrolling a device. We have the setup menu. Again, what we've seen before, we have a Santa enrollment. We build a single package. Also here, we can include the Santa DMG. We can set our monitoring or lockdown mode. We can provide a regex to the lockdown mode needs the whitelist regex. The monitoring mode goes with the blacklist regex. And then you download a package. And the package is then to be installed. And I can build a Santa probe and do stuff in blacklisting or whitelisting. But this is pretty much work. So you have to get busy, especially in lockdown mode, to provide a good whitelist. But however, Santa already collects a lot of information, and as we receive the events, we decided, okay, we get the events shipped over to Zentral. This is just our internal database query. And yeah, so we can pre-build a list of binaries that Santa sees on one machine running, and then we have them in our database, and we can do something with that, and that's what we do. Again, I start with a feed. I import a custom feed that I pre-built. The custom feed automatically whitelists OS query because, yeah, otherwise Santa would block OS query in execution in lockdown mode. And I import the probe, give it a name, timing. And then I can just go the classic way. I have to learn about the SHA-256. Then I can create a simple rule. So that's the old pattern we had. I can decide on blacklist or silent blacklist, whitelisting or lifting a rule. And I can decide if it's a binary or certificate SHA-256 that I have and have to provide the SHA. This is tedious if you have to build a long whitelist. And, damn it. This is, come on. We have to see this again. Sorry. Again. There's no way to just fast forward that. Okay. Sorry. So, once again. So we import the probe. We give it a name. We see all the options. And then we come to the exciting part. Let's just stick this. Yeah, we know about this. So, and we just released the feature that I'm showing soon. We released this just last week, so it's quite new. I think we will work on that still. And next on, I can go for the collected application rule. And I can just look up for a name where I know the software was already run. I find SQL Pro. I see the version number. I see that it was run on the desktop. So somehow, yeah. And then I can just create a rule from there because Santa already shipped the information. This saves a lot of time as you can build whitelists. And the same I can do with a collected certification, a certificate rule. It finds me the full certificates that Santa has shipped to us. I can whitelist, in this example, Mozilla, and can build my whitelist with that. Of course, again, I have to activate it. Best provide a filter. Better do the filter first and then activate, because otherwise, YOLO. And yeah, so it's just how we work. Build the filter, create the rules, and then bring it into action. We have some more features, many features. We have built-in single sign-on with SAML. We have simple MDM. We support that. We can upload signed packages to there. Again, the complete monkey, including the enrollment to Zentral, all in one package. We can put that to simple MDM, and then with a DEP workflow, just have it all in one go. And for this, of course, we have to ad hoc sign the packages, so we can do this in Zentral. And I only have a few minutes left. Yesterday, in the evening, I did a short test if it works with High Sierra, and so far, this was an upgraded machine. Santa works on that machine. I learned that this may not be true for a fresh install. There's some stuff going on. Currently, I only have one computer in there. I have created a new manifest. I create an enrollment package, monkey tools. I download that. It's a signed package, so I can open that. I can install it. And it's a signed package. So then, I think we're good with the time. This gets installed. Monkey requires a restart. And Monkey was not installed. There, it's installed right now. And I have to restart. I speeded up the next thing, starting the VM. You see a high-speed spinning beach ball of death shortly, and graphics systems comes back on. And yeah, it takes a while. So, and now we'll see a Monkey run and what it will do. Currently, of course, Monkey was installed, but it has not automatically performed all its actions. So still in Zentral, we only have one machine. But we will change that by opening the terminal. And so let's run Monkey. Provide a password. And we host our packages on S3. So we provide the catalog, so we retrieve it, and we will hash the links. They only exist for a short moment for that specific request. And then Monkey installs everything, or is about to install everything. And here we see that the following items will be installed or upgraded. And so the device will enroll into Zentral as next. So we run Monkey with install only. And the first run takes a moment because Monkey has already discovered some of the inventory, the applications on the system, but it has to ship that over to Zentral. The same applies for OS query. And so, but it's still quite fast. And there it goes. Now we reload in Zentral and can verify, okay, there's a new device. We can see Monkey, Santa, OS query, all the technologies that we support are over there. It's 10.13. You can scroll down and see what OS query and Monkey has shipped us over as the inventory information on all the apps. So yeah, that's a short wrap-up of how fast we can enroll the technologies. Monkey is a big helper for that. As said, Google Santa, it's interesting to see what's coming next, if this will survive or not. I'm feeling a bit sad. I want to have Santa still in the future. Of course, it's open source software, so we do give, we love that people participate. We go to conferences, do workshops, and we love to help the people out. Although we also have some customers, they wanted to have a paid tier of a support contract. We offer a SaaS solution, pro services, and the regular stuff, helping with integration. To get started, we have Zentral all-in-one. It's the all-in-one box. Of course, it's a pre-built image that we use Packer for that, and therefore we can support a lot of services in parallel. It's a small image, so if you use this in production and say you have a JSS with 5,000 clients and you want to run this with a Zentral all-in-one instance on AWS, it depends on how much events this generates, but probably for this test, you don't want to start with a production JSS throwing events to us, or you either learn how to increase the storage of an AMI. So AMI could be, for smaller shops, it could be also production ready, but it's our thing for evaluation. Google Cloud Services, that's what we own, what we do most when we run workshops. We build a Vagrant box. Again, some people try to hook up a JSS to a Vagrant box. That may not work with the webhooks. and same with VMware with the OVR. And we develop with Docker Compose, and it's also good to spin up Zentral very, very quickly. So if you're familiar with Docker, just also consider that way. And yeah, that's it. Here's some links that I provide also to some other former presentations where we cover some other features that I have to flip over for today. And that's, thank you.
Thank you, Henry. Questions?
Clay.
Oh. Anyone not from Google? Question?
Do you have any, maybe I missed the discussion about it before, do you have any plans, or is it implemented a way to access these, make these changes via, programmatically with command line or some sort of remote API?
So yeah, that's how we started.
Okay.
So we have a graphical interface for clicking yourself in a GUI, a probe, but we started with just JSON files. And for us, of course, building new features, sometimes the UI helps. But yeah, we still see that, and we can export the probes to GitHub. So therefore, you have some sort of version control and change management. We will build on that feature, and definitely, it's the long-term goal to just have a file that represents the current state of the setting, and then you can just roll back or roll forward.
Yeah, my other question is if you had any way to do approvals, but if, you know, have another admin approve your changes, and if you have all the files in GitHub, then that would sort of
yeah, so
that
that would be GitHub or GitLab. So that's the idea.
Right, awesome, thanks.
I'm curious to how you're generating those packages. You're getting the packages, the Santa package, the OS query package from GitHub releases, but then wrapping it up in another package.
This feature breaks sometimes. I think Facebook OS query, some things with the packages had changed. So, but we just get the release feed from GitHub, and then we will just download it locally. And then we have some Linux binaries that can build a package out of that. I think Pepine provided a couple of initial tips for that. And then we just build the package. And of course, not out of the box, they can't be signed, but it's just like we have a base JSON file that is our main configuration. And within there, you just provide the path to the right private key and the certificate, and then we will auto-sign the packages. So that's
cool.
Thanks.
Any other questions? Is this easy to set up, Henry? Is this easy to set up?
On AWS or Google Cloud, yeah, of course.
It seems so overwhelming. Can a normal person do this? Tell the truth.
We have a lot of tutorials. Of course, we do new tutorials as well. But there we show how are the baby steps to get started with, especially AWS and Google Cloud. And and if something breaks, it's just for evaluation. Yeah, then just do it over and just give it another try. Some people may have tried Zentral about a year ago. They should do that again.
1, 2, 3, go! Clap!
Thanks.